With me is the Foreign Secretary of Lithuania. He's here in Delhi for conversation with his counterpart, the Indian Foreign Secretary. So my question to you is that we all know, we have learned that you speak Hindi very well. So can you speak in Hindi to our viewers?
Very well would be an exaggeration. थोड़ा थोड़ा हिंदी बोलता हूँ और 2 साल दिल्ली में नहीं रहता हूँ तो हिंदी मुश्किल आती है मेरे लिए लेकिन थोड़ा थोड़ा समझता हूँ.
So what's the reason that you learned Hindi? I know you're a diplomat, so you learned Hindi as part of the job, but the other rationales, if you can give to us.
Well, we have to give credit that Hindi is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world. So we have around 1 billion people having Hindi as their official and native language. So from that point of view and looking into the future, we have to accept this fact and probably learn in advance for the world which is coming. So that's one thing. And then second reason is that the Lithuanian and Hindi share a close connection. Both our languages originate from Sanskrit, and even today in modern Lithuanian and modern Hindi we keep using words which sound identical. So it's easy to recognize them.
Can you talk about the identical words and also answer to the question that how did the linkages between Hindi here in India and your language in Northern Europe? How did it reach? Can you give any reason or rationale behind it?
We can make, for example, a comparison. In Hindi, people would say vayu. In Lithuanian, they say vėjas. It means the same, wind. Deva, we say dievas, means God. Agni, we say ugnis, it means fire. And shaka, like a branch of a bank today. So in Lithuania also you would say a division or a bad branch of a tree, shaka, and the same word. So every layer of a society you would take, from house utensils to human body to religion to, I don't know, social aspects, you would find words which really come very, very close. And why is that? So it's still a mystery. I think that linguists are now building theories and trying to verify them, how this connection happened. This research is on for the last 200 years at least. So what we can now tell from the facts we know, probably at some point, our forefathers used to live in some one territory, and then part of them migrated south to India, and the other part migrated north, and then reached Lithuania and stayed in Lithuania. It's really unique that our language has remained rather intact, and we still have connections which are recognizable. So French researchers 150 years ago, they said, if you want to learn how Indian people would speak, how Sanskrit looked like, so you go to a Lithuanian village and you listen how a peasant there, a farmer there in a Lithuanian village talks. So
That's pretty interesting. Talking about your ties with India, you were here for your talks with the Indian Foreign Secretary. How do you see India's role in the world, and your engagement with New Delhi?
Well, we believe that India is playing an increasingly important role, and that's more than evident. For Lithuania, which is currently a member of both European Union and NATO and recently joined OECD, this is the club of the richest and most developed countries in the world. So where every place possible we want it to be, we understand that this is also a moment we have to redefine our relationship with Asian countries and India in particular. So from this perspective, we have a very good starting point. We have absolutely, I would say, no recognizable disagreements between us, at least those we would hold the record of, and on the contrary, we have so many similarities that we share. So linguistic similarity is only one thing, but we also have historical connections. Like first Lithuanian arrived in India 400 years ago, so we're going to celebrate that occasion in a few years' time. Also many other travelers who would visit India and make a big impact on how Lithuanians define themselves. Our independence movement 30 years ago was also building on the relations, on the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi. So that was another important contribution. So we believe that all of that taking this picture as one piece, we see a very huge potential to work on.
So my final question to you is, and this I have to ask, given that the NATO meeting happened in Europe recently, what's happening with NATO? I mean, is it a group which is facing, not to use the word extinction, but perhaps it seems that a lot of divisions in the grouping now because of what Washington is insisting on?
No, seriously, NATO had seen many lows and ups and downs in the 70 years of its history. So it's really what we're seeing today is not the lowest point we ever had, that I can tell you for sure. And judging from the outcomes of the most recent meeting, we see that most of the disagreements we had been overcome, had been resolved, and NATO is again standing firm and looking forward into the future to contribute to world security. That's the main reason for NATO alliances, is to provide security for its members, and then within the capacity provided to it also to contribute to it.
Are you looking at New Delhi, at least not being part, but somewhere playing a role in NATO? Are there some conversations happening?
NATO has structured dialogues with individual countries, including in Asia, but not such a dialogue exists at the moment with India, as per my knowledge.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So that was the Lithuanian Foreign Secretary speaking about many things, and of course highlighting the key aspect of the linguistic connect between New Delhi and Lithuania, something that many people might have not known before this interview. With video journalist Sidhant Sibal for Wion in New Delhi.